going?
It's going. Takes about 20 seconds for it to.
Hey, everybody, it's Dale Jr. for the Dale Jr. Download. This is the live Ask Junior segment of the show. You're also going to be hearing some other voices during this part of the show. Mike Davis is with me, Matthew Dillner. So, let's get right to it. We've had a pretty good show so far. We had the Eurys on and talked a little NASCAR, some rule changes, talked about the Clash and so forth, but let's get right to it. So, Matthew, what's the first question?
Well, we got people populating the chat room right now, and it seems like everybody wants to know what you think of the new digs, man.
Oh, the new studio. I love it. You know, there's basically all this stuff that's in here was pulled out of my collection, so I'm pretty excited about it. Hard to pick what my favorite item is. A lot of people that saw some of the pictures on social media asked about the fire suit. That's from the 2004 Corvette crash where I caught on fire. They had to cut that suit off of me in the infield care center. Some people said that they would have thrown it away, but we keep everything, and I'm glad I kept it. I probably wasn't excited about having it for a few years, but eventually I got to where I was really glad I kept it. The number 2 roof from basically either 79 or 1980, Dale Earnhardt, Australian, Monte Carlo. We cut that roof off of a car in a junkyard, painted it here at the shop, got the decals made down the street, $150. We've got a roof to hang on the wall. That's a great idea for any man cave around the world. And whoever your favorite driver is, just go to the junkyard and get a roof. I like it. I think, we were in this, everybody remembers the old studio with the couch, and that was fun and great. But, man, Mike and his team put a ton of work in this, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it this year.
I'm going to add one more thing. We've been talking and doing this show so far, and you hear race cars being worked on in the background. That's not an accident. We are it's still every bit as much in the race shop, and so that's kind of something we like. We like to hear that stuff. So it's not an accident. We didn't mess up when you hear that stuff.
All right, first person, All Pro Sports, how did you feel about the finish yesterday, Junior?
Yeah, we talk about that at the top of the show a little bit. The race itself was frustrating. The guys running around in the high line. It was kind of I don't know. I wasn't surprised to see that, but you were hoping that you weren't going to see that. You're hoping that you're going to see guys 3 and 4 wide and a lot of cars getting big runs and making passes and so forth. But the drivers were put in a box. Their hands were tied with the way the package worked yesterday for whatever reason. Could be the spoiler, the plate, the weather, whatever. A lot of variables are in play to predict how the car is going to draft. Well, all that really had the drivers' hands tied. They couldn't pull out and couldn't try to make moves because they would get dropped straight to the rear of that line. And if you're a driver, you're not going to get out of line to go to the rear. That's just not going to work. And so they couldn't pull out. They couldn't do the things they wanted to do. When you saw that bottom line try to create some momentum and try to get some organization, it would quickly fall apart. And so that was really frustrating to see. And hopefully, I'm going to be there to watch the duels, and I'm excited to see really if anything's different, if the cars look and drive different. They're not racing for the Daytona 500 trophy, so probably not going to take many risks with those race cars because those are cars that need to be on the grid for Sunday. But I'm hoping to see something a little bit different. Also, I think that they just should shorten that Clash. That thing should be 20 laps. Make those guys, grind it out for 20 laps, and they'll be trying to make moves all of those laps instead of this 75-lap long, drawn-out process. Just get right down to it and see who can win it. The end was pretty controversial. A lot of people had a lot of different opinions about it, and I think Jimmy carries a lot of responsibility. His side draft was pretty aggressive, and the 21 car did move. The 21 car moved to the left just a little bit, whether he was having to correct his car, because when Jimmy moves out from behind his car, that changes, that pulls his car around and tries to suck his car around. And so he may have been trying to correct for that. He in his interview, Paul Menard did say he moved down. So there's a little bit of responsibility bared by both men in that situation. I would have to call that then a racing deal. You would hope that it didn't. I know Jimmy feels terrible about wrecking all them cars, and that's terribly embarrassing. And I've been in that situation before.
All right, Mitch. That's a good one right there. What's your this is interesting. What's your racing fetish? I don't know if we want to get into that, but what's your racing fetish, or what type of racing that maybe you always wanted to try but never got to?
My I guess if
Racing fetish.
Yeah, that's a weird. I don't.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mitch.
I would say that I wish that I was racing or had the chance to race in the 70s. I think from 75, even before that maybe, but 75 to 80, the bodies of the cars, the manufacturers, all that stuff was cool. The clothes were cool. The personalities in the sport was all that stuff was just awesome to me. So I watch a lot of those races just to sort of get an idea or because I'm so curious, about what the cars drove like and how they drafted, raced, handled, how the tires felt, how the tires changed over a run, all that stuff. So love watching those old races from the late 70s. Once they changed bodies in 81, that was still pretty cool to me. But man, those old, big Monte Carlos and Dodge Chargers, the Laguna, the Oldsmobile 442, those cars are amazing.
All right, Samuel wants to know your 500 picks so it can help his fantasy team.
Well, it's no surprise to me that the Hendrick cars were on the front row and that they dominated pretty much pole day qualifying. They've had that kind of speed at Talladega and Daytona for years in qualifying. Whether they have what it takes to draft and handle the way they need to, is another question. I don't know that anybody's going to be as good as the Penske cars. Whether the Penske can win the race, I don't know. That takes a lot. There's a lot of things that happen throughout that race that change, that can change that. But we've seen them get swept up in accidents before, not even of their doing. But the Penske cars to me look the best in race trim. Like I said, I'll be there for the duels, and I'll be taking in the action and trying to understand who I think the favorites are. But right now, my money's on any of the Penske cars. TJ Majors is spotting for Joe Logano. The guy's a champion. How's he going to react and race it now that he's a champion? Probably with a whole lot more confidence. And so I think that he's coming in with the most confidence as anyone else, and he's got a great spotter that I've worked with for a long time. So if I was having to pick a driver today who would win the Daytona 500, I would put my money on Joe Logano. I think Brad Keselowski will be in the mix as well.
New spotter there too with Coleman Presley.
Yeah.
So that's
could that be a plus or a minus? We'll know later. But Blaney had a great run there over the last year, and he could be a contender. You saw how Paul Menard ran in the Clash, which is basically a Penske car. So I think those cars look the best. And what kind of weather are we going to get? We're going to get hot, slick Daytona. We're going to get cold, grippy Daytona. We don't really know, and that could change things as well for the handling of the cars and make it a lot more challenging on some of the teams.
Jonathan Moore wants to know who is the best raw talent
Good Lord.
that you've ever raced with.
So raw talent to me, you got to define that, I guess. And raw talent is a guy that basically doesn't know anything about racing. You put him in a car and he's fast. Yeah. Like how does he fast? Well, he's got raw talent. All right, so he has an ability that it's not learned. One guy that I thought had raw talent was Shane Mill. Shane Mill to me just knew how to make a car fast. He might not have always made the best decisions on the racetrack, and that was something that would be learned over time, like anyone else. But when you put him in a car, he can get more out of that car than I think most people did. So that was one guy that I really thought had loads of raw talent. I can't say whether my dad's talent was raw or learned. I think another guy with raw talent is probably either one of the Busch guys, Kyle or Kurt. I think those guys had driving ability before they really knew how to drive and learned how to drive and learned how to make good judgment on a racetrack. I'm going to think of about 10 or 15 more throughout the day now that I've been asked this question, but that's probably my answer so far.
All right, Albert wanted to know, how's dad life treating you? We've had a break now, so we haven't had many Isla updates.
Well, I've been posting on social media so people can see a little bit about how Isla's doing and what we got going on. She's doing great. Dad life's great. I'm loving it. I'm in the middle of it. I'm doing, I'm doing my part, and so it's great. I really would need more specifics, I guess, as to what people would want to know about dad life, but it's fun. Everything I hoped it would be. Isla is just an incredible individual and such a personality, and that shows more and more each day, and she's more and more fun each day, and she's starting to understand how I think we were enamored with her right out of the gate. Now I think she's starting to have that with me and Amy, and she's starting to want to be around us and enjoying us as much as we've enjoyed her, which is really cool.
Hey, Danger Mouse just chimed in, and this is an interesting. Yeah, I like Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider? You've got a lot of different cars and some hot rods, that cool old truck that you got. Bringing any of your cars to like car shows or Hot Rod Drag Week or whatever.
Well, Ray Evernham has this car show every year.
Yeah.
We send a couple cars over there each year. So my cars go to some places, but I don't know. I haven't really. If I can't go do it because I'm usually working or doing something else, so Sonny or some of the guys on the property might take the car somewhere. If we're trying to sell something, we might take it to the Charlotte Fair or something like that. They go to the Charlotte Auto Fair at the track every year. I've tried to get over there the last couple of years, and since I retired.
I can just see you in a little lawn chair next to your
hanging
car,
out,
chilling out.
selling some old parts, selling some old wheels and crap. Sure. We have the best thing we do is basically we take the snake in the cooler and put a free drink sign on it and videotape everybody.
Fake snake.
The fake snake. Yeah, let's get that straight. Has Sonny ever gotten you with a snake?
Yeah, a couple times, yeah. So there's rubber snakes that are you'll find them all over the place around the property, and they keep moving.
All right, Devin wants to know where does the Elvis car, Richmond 2007, rank with some great schemes, maybe like the Gray Ghost that's behind you right there.
I went and signed autographs in Indianapolis this past week and signed a handful of those Elvis cars, and it surprises me that I see so many of them. We ran that car one time, and we blew the motor. We actually were running pretty good, I think top 5 all night, and the motor blew, and we didn't get a great result. And usually when the car doesn't finish well, I don't see a lot of those special paint scheme die-casts being brought around for autographs. But for whatever reason, obviously, I think it says a lot just about Elvis's fan base and the people that support or follow him. I was a big Elvis fan. My grandmother, Martha Earnhardt, was a huge Elvis fan. When I would go to her house as a little boy, she had figurines and pictures and just stuff all over the house with Elvis Presley and his music playing all the time. So I became a big Elvis Presley fan. It was a big deal for me to be able to drive that car that night. But with that terrible finish that we had, I didn't anticipate that car having such an impact. But we still see it today. Fans still carry it around. And I think it says more about Elvis than it does about anything else. Yeah, because he was such an icon, and even today, still a lot of people support him and think listen to his music. I still do. I have a lot of Elvis music. I got a room in my house dedicated to Elvis. I'm almost ashamed to say. I've always had an Elvis room in my house with a bunch of his memorabilia in it, and still have that today. Amy's not taking that out.
I'm surprised on that one.
I know. As I got married, some of the things in my bachelor pad became less bachelor-like, and I anticipated the Elvis room to go away one day, but
I've got like a closet now.
Yeah.
Hey, we do need like a Velvet Elvis in here or something. I just thought of that when you were saying that. Man.
We need some Elvis memorabilia in here. I got a bunch.
Heck yeah, man. Lorenzo chiming in. What do you think? What's your thoughts on seeing Carson running USAC, the midgets, and she ran the Chili Bowl? And
yeah, so Carson ran a handful of races last year in the midgets. She's going to run the full season this year, and this all came.
That's incredible.
I know this came about really quickly. She was sponsored by Pristine Auctions last year. She wanted to run more. Kelly, her mother, said, you need to put together a proposal. Carson, put together a proposal, gave it to an agency who sent this proposal around and got enough attention for sponsors to come together, a good handful, 2 or 3 different sponsors. Brant, is one of them that sponsors our race team here.
Nationwide's one.
Nationwide's one, but she got a handful of people interested through this proposal that she created to be able to fund the entire season with Billy Boat and Chad and those guys who are tremendous people. And so she's having a lot of fun. She's in great company, in great hands with the Boat family. And I'm going to be watching a lot of midget car races on my laptop or my iPad here this year, and I'm excited about it. I watched her just the other night, and she's learning as she goes, going to all these new tracks, and it's a bit of a challenge to her, but she's taking it on head on, man, and she's fearless, so it's fun to watch.
She sure did a good job at the Chili Bowl there.
Yeah.
We have probably the most pressing question we've ever had on Ask Junior here.
Wow, okay.
Get ready, okay?
Mhm.
Kevin wants to know, what's for lunch today?
I don't know. I'm going to be on a plane to Florida. We're going down to meet up with Team Rubicon, who is an organization that goes out to different areas in the country to help with disaster relief. So we teamed up with them and Mountain Dew to help bring awareness to their program, and I'm going to go down there today to do that. So probably just a salad or something on the plane, and probably the same thing coming home. But I'm excited to meet the folks at Team Rubicon. I've been talking to them for several months now, and we're finally going to get together, and I'm looking forward to today.
All right, last question from Bonnie. Did you watch the Grammys? And if so, what was your favorite act?
No, I didn't. Amy put the red carpet stuff on, and I leave the room, man. I cannot take that, the chitter chatter about the dresses and who's wearing this. What I think this person's coming in and they're going to dress like this. No, they're not going to be dressed like. I'm like, why are we debating what they might wear? I just can't take it, man. So I left the room. Yeah. I mean, congratulations to
Whoever
everyone who wore it best. But I'm good.
And
Yeah.
and
All right.
we debate like that about Mike Davis, by the way, before he
What's
comes
Mike
in.
going to wear today?
What's Mike going to wear today? Is it going to be like that?
Is it going to be Western wear or going to be more Metro?
Is he going to wear his chaps?
Whoa, now I don't want to think of you in chaps.
I didn't say only
Is he going to
chaps.
be
Well, most chaps are.
Is he going to wear a
assless.
Bama jersey?
Oh, that ought to look good. Yeah.
All right, man.
What's happened to that brings up a question. Why is it bad to wear jerseys now? Everybody's saying you can't wear jerseys just walking around
What do
in
you mean?
public.
I'm with that crowd too.
There's a
I don't
growing
Everybody's too cool.
yeah, they can't wear like basketball jerseys or football jerseys or hockey jerseys out
I
in
love
public.
hockey jerseys.
Out in public. Yeah.
Can I wear a hockey jersey on the show one
At
day?
a game it's good, but apparently there's a growing group of people that feel like that they should not be worn in public.
Hipsters.
I guess.
Yeah. All right, Ask Junior presented by Nationwide. Got to thank Nationwide, of course.
Absolutely.
right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it.